how you arrived at that fight over Hendricks?
The answer is that's what George St. Pierre wanted. George St. Pierre said, I really feel like I have unfinished business with Diaz and I'd like to fight him. You know the fight that we wanted to make. I mean, take Hendricks out of the deal. We wanted to make that fight anyway. So, I mean, I hate talking about shit before it happens, but what we're working on right now is we got those two. We got Condit and who do we got? Condit and McDonald. Thank you. Okay, and now we're working on Hendricks and Ellenberger.
I think they announced that tonight too. So
they did.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
What was the talk like with Hendricks? I mean, obviously Ellenberger's a great opponent, top ranked as well. But he kept saying he wanted to wait and all that.
You wait. You do the Rashad Evans thing where you're out for. You don't know what the hell's going to happen, especially these days.
Right.
If I'd have told you fucking 3 years ago that hey, guys can keep getting injured and then you could get injured and you could be out for almost 2 years, you'd think I was crazy. But it's a reality. It happens all the time. I mean, tonight we lost a guy during the fight at 5 o'clock. Warner started throwing up like the Exorcist back there, and he still wanted to fight, and the doctor wouldn't let him.
This fight gonna happen.
Is that official for them?
55. Yeah, that fight will happen.
GSP also said that if he moves, if he fights Anderson, he's not gonna do it just for one fight. He's gonna.
Right, he'll stay at 85. Right, that's what he said, but we'll see. The guy's never asked us for anything. He's an awesome champion. He does anything we ask of him, and he asked us for a favor. So he wants to fight Diaz. It's not like people don't want to see it. So.
You worried all about hijinks with Nick? I mean, obviously he's still in suspension right now, and he no-showed and all that last time.
Yeah, there's no guarantees with Nick Diaz.
So you admit a little concerned.
I got 9 welterweights on the show that are all in the top 5. So if he falls out, we'll still have a GSP fight.
Dana, Caesar said in an interview with Ariel Helwani, I believe, that don't be surprised if Nick Diaz holds out for more money. Was there any kind of issues like that?
He's got a fucking contract. How do you hold out for more money when you got a contract?
Have you spoken with Hendricks at all, and what's his take on this? And is he obviously a little bit frustrated with the signing of Nick Diaz?
I don't know if he is or he isn't. But George St. Pierre is the champion. The champ wants to fight Diaz. He can be as frustrated as he wants to be. When he's got the belt, and defends it and breaks records, as long as George St. Pierre, then I might listen to him.
Would he maybe be next in line if GSP can handle Diaz and who does actually win the fight? Maybe be the next contender?
Yeah, Hendricks is definitely a contender right now, and yes, he'd be next in line.
Yeah, I guess the critics, the supporters of Hendricks say, hey, the UFC is starting to make fun fights or fan fights instead of really recognizing the #1 contender, because Hendricks is on that nice one.
Which isn't. The UFC didn't do that. The champ did. The champ called him out and wanted to fight him. So the UFC didn't do it. The guy who holds the belt did. That's who he asked us to fight. And like I just said, when somebody goes on a run, as long as George St. Pierre has and does what he's done for the sport, for that division and everything else, they ask for a fight that they want, then they'll get it too.
I have to agree with him. That would be the more popular fight with Diaz.
I think the Hendricks fight's a popular fight too. I mean, this guy's been skidding people across the octagon when he hits them. It's a very interesting fight. So it's not a bad thing. The Diaz fight is absolutely a popular fight that people want to see. I think the Hendricks fight is too.
What is the winner of Rory and Condit? Where does that put them in the title picture?
In the mix.
A lot of people are thinking this throws cold water on GSP Anderson Silva, that maybe GSP is resisting by not wanting that fight. What do you think? I mean,
maybe he is. Yeah, well, he just had a really tough fight. He's been off for almost 2 years. He had a hard fight with Carlos Condit, and maybe he looks at Diaz as an easy fight for him. I don't know why. I can't speak to that. George can speak on why he picked Diaz. Maybe he just wants, he was really upset with a lot of things that Diaz said and did, and I'm sure it's a combination of everything, but I can't honestly say that. He knows the answer to that, not me.
Are you concerned at all that GSP Anderson might not happen now because of this development, or do you still feel positive about it?
No, I'm not. I honestly believe, I truly believe, obviously he's got to get through Diaz now and possibly Hendricks. Who knows how this is all going to play out, but I honestly believe that before Anderson Silva retires, he will fight George St. Pierre and John Jones.
In hindsight, do you still point Anderson on the, in that small screenshot while GSP is fighting Condit? Now that you know the fight is probably not going to happen, do you still do that?
That's why he went. Anderson didn't go there because he's a huge George St. Pierre fan and wanted to watch him fight. He went there to watch the fight to see if his fight was going to happen.
Drawing attention to it, like on the pay-per-view, and that now fight that's probably not going to happen. Does that hurt you guys at all, or not really?
Does what hurt us?
Like drawing attention to a potential super fight by putting Anderson Silva out there, you know, kind of saying that's probably the next fight.
How did it hurt us?
Some people are saying it's on Twitter. You know, it's just like, why would you draw attention to a fight if it won't happen?
Get over it. We thought it might happen and then it didn't. If that fucking hurts your feelings, too bad.
Did you get a chance to talk to Nick up in Seattle? Did you ever get his reaction on that he's going to fight GSP? Or did you ever have a conversation with
Nick?
Yeah.
No. I talked to Caesar. I text Nick, call Nick. He's MIA. You can't get him. Talk to Caesar.